In the last couple of videos, I've been doing a lot of talking and a lot of thinking about things that I said I was going to do this year, things that I actually did. And one thing that I never mentioned was this little structure here. If you guys remember, I think it was this year that I said I wanted to convert this into like a hen house and then use my electric net out on this sort of unutilized area of our property and just make this a big chicken run. And I totally forgot about that. But I was looking at it this morning, and I was looking at where the chickens are set up right now, and I started thinking, you know, it's probably about time to get them moved, because as the weather continues to be bad and rainy, they really need some good shelter, which this would provide for them if the roof was finished and their pen was set up over here. You can see that the grass is starting to pop out here, and it'd be better to get the chickens moved over here before this gets too tall, because when it's too tall, they don't really like it. This is like the perfect conditions for them, and I think if I move them over here now, they will keep it at this level, or they'll, you know, do what chickens do and pick it down to nothing. I'm sure that I won't be able to get this completely converted into a hen house today. I mean, ideally, I'd like to build some nesting boxes into the wall. I'd like to frame in the front of this, put a man door so it's easy for us to get in and out of. But realistically today, what I want to get done is to get this roof finished. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I've had this tin sitting at the shop here for years. In fact, I got this from one of my jobs a few jobs ago. They'd torn a building down and had a bunch of this used tin that they were going to send to the scrapyard. So instead, I ended up taking a bunch of it home. And it's been sitting in a pile next to the shop ever since, and today it's finally going to be put to use. Initially, I thought, well, I need to get these bales out of here to finish this job, but then as I thought about it more, I said, no, let's leave them there because it gives me something to stand on while I'm attaching this tin. Once I get it all on here, then we'll move them out, but for now, they're going to stay right there. So because we're using salvage tin, nothing really fits up the way that it should. In hindsight, I should have built the frame knowing which tin I was going to use, but that's just not the way it worked out. So all of these pieces are like 6 inches short, which is a shame, but what I can do is just add a little stub here on the end to fill in this gap. Good time. Up here on this end, I'm drilling through 2, 3, sometimes as many as 4 sheets of metal. So I finally broke down and started drilling pilot holes because it was just too hard to get that self-piercing screw to go through all of that metal before it found the wood. And now that I'm drilling pilot holes, it's working a lot better. I'm sure you're wondering, why am I just not getting on top of the roof to fasten these? Well, I don't think this roof is strong enough to hold me. I don't trust it, so I'm doing it this way. I mean, for a salvage piece of tin, that one's pretty straight, really.
more piece of sheet and we'll have it done. Now I just got to get down. I'm down to my last piece of tin here, and the plan is to fold the edge over the corner of the building to help water stay out of there, because usually when we get weather, storms, the wind is coming from the south, so it would be blowing on this wall. This is a south wall. So because the tin's all mismatched anyway, what I'm gonna do here is put 2 longer pieces up there. I think those will be easier to fold over, and I don't know, we'll see how it looks. Oh, why am I at this end? I need to be at that end first. Now I just got to do that down the whole thing. I'm sure it'll be easy. This last piece of tin was an absolute nightmare to get on there. Folding that edge over is tough. This is old tin. This is from back when they made this stuff really thick. So it's nice because it has a lot more structure and it's a lot stronger. But man, when you got to fold an edge like that, it's really tough. But we got it now. It's done. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's gonna work. I was hoping to get chickens moved over here today, but looking at the clock and the other things that I need to do today, it's just not gonna happen. So we're gonna put a pin in this for now and kind of switch gears and go over to the ranch, do some stuff over there. That's one job down. Before I feed the adult cows, I want to check my live trap over here on the side of the barn. I can't really tell if anything's messed with it. Let's check the trail cam and see if we got anything. Huh, well, that could be a problem. Yeah. Man, you would think with how much the cats are in this area that we wouldn't have to worry about rats, but I did catch one on the camera, and I know there's one here. So I guess the only thing that I can really do is just kind of turn this trap to sort of block it so that the cats can't fit in there, and hopefully they'll leave it alone. Hopefully now that they've, you know, messed with it once, they're not gonna mess with it again. But I might try putting some different lure in here, because for all the days that this trap has been here, it's only had cats in it and no rodents have shown any interest in it at all. So I think we need to try something a little bit different. One of you suggested bacon grease, so I got a little cup of bacon grease here, and I think we'll give this a try. Let's see, I don't know if I should take the cookie out of there. So maybe we'll put that like that, and then I mean, those cats, they might still be able to get in there, but we'll see. They heard me raking the hay in the feeder and they all come running in here. They got a perfectly fine brand new bale out in the pasture, but they decided they need to run up here. We've only got a couple smart ones here that knew a good thing when they had it. It's pretty entertaining. I'm just standing here watching these cattle run back and forth from the hay in the field to what little bit of hay is there in the feeder. They just can't decide what the better place to eat is when it's clearly out in the field. I don't know why they don't know that. Well, that ought to take care of things over here. Girl, good girl, get in. Good girl. Was that fun? You got in the rice field, I think. Look at you, you are soaking wet. Even Callie didn't get in the rice field. Usually Callie's the one that does it. Okay, come on. Oh, I can hear it now. I can't believe you make that puppy run like that. I guess I should point out that when I'm running with Belly, we're not going near as fast as I go with Callie. Callie can sustain 30 miles an hour pretty easily for a pretty long ways. And when I'm running Belly, we're only going like 10 to 12. And that little jog that I do with them is not very long. It's probably like a half a mile. So for a dog, that's nothing. For a person, it might be a lot, but for a dog, that's nothing. So we're going slow and it's not very far. Hopefully that satisfies the critics. I gotta say, I'm proud of myself for getting this done. This is one of those jobs that's kind of been hanging over my head for probably several years at this point. It was one that I wasn't sure that I ever really would get around to finishing, even though, you know, it's kind of silly to leave this roof half done like I was doing. But now that I have a specific use in mind, it was easy to get motivated to do it. One of those things, should have done it a while ago, but it's done now. The pigs are gonna be with us for about 3 more weeks, and it occurred to me the other day that in that time, I need to hurry up and get a hot wire set up around our garden, because I want these pigs to come out here and do what pigs do best. They will root this up, turn it up, and I think if they're allowed to be out here for 3 weeks, that this will not look anything like it does now. It'll look like a freshly plowed field, and that's what I want. I turned the pigs out in the garden last year like what I'm describing, and it worked out really good. There's not a lot of stuff left out here for them to eat, but there are some things, and you know how pigs are. They'll eat the grass and the plants and everything. They're not just gonna be looking for old squash gourds or stuff like that, which there are plenty of those. I imagine whoever finds that watermelon will be pretty happy with themselves. It also sort of works to my advantage to have 2 different pens that I can lock the pigs into. So like when they all come out here into the garden, I can close this gate and lock them in here for a little while. And if I need to do something like put a round bale in their shelter here or get a tractor in their pen for whatever reason, it's a lot easier to do that now because I can keep them out of my way. So that's gonna have to wait until the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.